last but not least, multitask video captioning with visual and textual entailment will present Ramakant.
Yeah. Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss about improving video captioning in multitask setting with related video prediction and entailment generation. This is a joint work with my advisor Mohit Bansal at UNC Chapel Hill. To motivate the task, let's start with some examples. The task of video captioning is to generate a caption to a video involving complex spatial and temporal dynamics. And the use cases for the video captioning are assistance to visually impaired, improving online video search, and grounded robotic instruction tasks. This task has been looked at since many years with a lot of recent useful work by Raimone's group. Let's see how the present state of the art baseline performs on this task. If you see these examples, baseline fails to recognize correct objects or actions. In general, these baseline captions are not entailed or by logical follow from the video. Our model addresses these issues with multitask learning related with video prediction and entailment generation in using improving the temporal and logical storyline dynamics respectively. Let's see what a multitask learning is. It's a world useful paradigm to improve generalization performance of a task with related tasks. For example, see Corona 98. Next, the multiple tasks are learned in parallel using shared model representations. And each task benefits from the extra information in the training signals of the related tasks. Recently, Luong et al. 2016 presented multitask learning for sequence-to-sequence models sharing encoder or decoder representation. Let's see how we can do multitask on video captioning. Before that, current challenges are lack of sufficient label data, complex spatial visual modeling, logical storyline dynamics, and temporal across-frame dynamics. We need new capabilities to model temporal and logical dynamics, so we add two corresponding tasks to add these two capabilities via multitask learning. One is logically directed entailment generation task to help improve the video entailed caption decoder representation. The other is unsupervised video prediction to improve the temporal knowledge representation. So this is an overview of our full many-to-many multitask model with parallel training of 3 different tasks, sharing encoder or decoder representation. And the training is performed in alternate mini batches. So we will discuss each module in detail, and I will get back to this full slide later. So the first module, our video captioning model, which is a sequence-to-sequence encoder with bidirectional encoder. And we use attention mechanism, and we use state-of-the-art inception V4 image frame features. Our baseline is strong in comparison to all the previous works. Next, we will see the entailment generation module. But before that, let's see what entailment is. So, a hypothesis is entailed by a premise if there is a logical directional implication relation between the premise and hypothesis. So, let's take an example what I meant. So, for the given premise, a girl is jumping on skateboard in the middle of a red bridge. The entailment is the girl does a skateboard trick. And the contradiction is the girl skates down the sidewalk. Since sidewalk is not in the premise, it's a contradiction. So this is a traditional classification task. And the question is, can we use the entailment as linguistic inference for beneficial of downstream tasks for directed conditional generations? And the answer is yes. We show this for video captioning, and the same works for summarization as well. We use large-scale SNLI corpus for RNN-style entailment generation. And let's see our entailment generation model. So we use same architecture We use same architecture as video captioning baseline model. Given a premise as input, the model generates a hypothesis. For example, in the figure, you see a man in red shorts is lifting weights is a premise, and the hypothesis is a man is exercising. So recently, Kolensky et al. 2016 tried this as a separate task, and we use this for multitask improvement of video captioning and also show mutual reverse improvement for entailment generation. Plus, we use a new configuration of splits to allow automatic evaluation as well. This linguistic inference capability helps learn better video entailed caption decoder representation, thus improving the video captioning task. Since caption needs to be entailed by the visual premise of a video, that is describing the subsets of objects logically implied by the full video, we teach it about entailment via multitask learning. The third module in our full multitask module is unsupervised video prediction. Here, again, we use the same architecture as our video captioning model. Here, we learn to generate the future frames of a video, and we use 80% to 20% frame division between encoder and decoder, and we use UCF 101 action video set for this task. So here, the motivation for using this video prediction module is to learn richer video encoder representation that are aware of temporal, context, and action sequence, and robust to missing frames and varying frame lengths or motion speeds. Now let's talk about different multitask setting by combining these three different tasks. The first one I want to talk about is many-to-one multitask model. It is many-to-one since it has multiple encoders and single decoder. Since caption is entailed by a video and hypothesis is entailed by premise, we share the decoder representation, hence making the decoder learn how to be entailed by the visual or textual premise. And the next multitask setting I want to discuss is one-to-many, where we have single encoder and multiple decoders. And we share encoder between video captioning and video prediction to improve its visual representation. Here, video encoder decodes both feature video and the caption, which helps it learn better joint visual representation for captioning. Coming back to our full many-to-many multitask model, it is a combination of one-to-many and many-to-one. It has multiple encoders and multiple decoders. Overall, we improve the task of video captioning by improving its visual representation through sharing encoder with video prediction, and also improve its logical story dynamics through sharing its decoder with entailment generation. And we do training in alternate mini batches through a tunable mixing ratio and validation set. So coming to the automatic evaluation metrics, how our model, so this is our multitask model. We want, let's see how our model performs on three popular standard data sets. I will go through one by one. So first, this is on Microsoft Video Description Dataset, also called MS Video or YouTube to Text. There are some previous works in video captioning with sequence-to-sequence models with temporal attention, fusion techniques, visual and textual joint space optimization, and hierarchical encoders. So these are some of these previous works, and let's see our baselines. We use a sequence-to-sequence encoder-decoder with attention mechanism, and we tried different frame level features, inception features, GoogleNet features, and we found inception to work best. And this is a strong baseline in comparison to all the previous works. On top of this strong baseline, we applied our multitask model. So as you can see, all three multitask settings are statistically significantly better than the strong state-of-the-art baseline. And also, many-to-many multitask setting is statistically significant over one-to-many and many-to-one on CIDR and some other cases. For further details, please see our paper. So the next data set we applied our multitask module is on MSR-VTT. It's a very recent data set. It's also called Microsoft Research Video to Text. It has diverse video clips collected from a commercial video search engine, And again here, we set the new rank 1 according to their 2016 leaderboard. The third data set that we applied our model is on MVAD, also called Montreal Video Annotation Dataset. It's a very difficult dataset on movie clips description, and again, we are the state of the art here as well. So, all these previous results were about improving video captioning using entailment generation in a multitask setting. So ideally in multitask learning, both primary and auxiliary tasks should help each other. And we show that we get mutual improvements in turn on the entailment generation task as well. That is returning the favor. So, and also we use new multi-reference setup split of SNLI to allow automatic evaluation metric and a zero train to test premise overlap. We also did, apart from the automatic evaluation metrics, we also did a human evaluation where we collected around 300 samples from 3 different users. And we used 2 criteria. One is relevance, the other one is coherence. Relevance is about how relevant are the videos corresponding, how relevant are the captions corresponding to the videos. That is actions and events happening inside a video. And coherence is about logic and readability of the sentence. So these are our results on our YouTube to text by our multitask video captioning module. And you can see our multitask wins by large margin with the state of the art baseline. We did a similar study for the multitask of entailment generation as well. And, and we see our multitask model wins again on the baseline. So those are some human evaluation and based on automatic evaluation. And so we also did a analysis of the examples, some of the examples, and we categorized them into different categories. One is a complex scenario where baseline fails to capture correct caption, but our multitask model does. And another is an ambiguous scenario where ground truth itself is confusing, but our multitask model still correctly predicts one of the possible categories. Here are some of the cases where our both multitask model and baseline performs poorly. As you can see, still a lot of work to be done on these data sets. And we did also analyze some examples where our baseline is better than the multitask. And these are the cases where most of the time our baseline beats multitask based on the specificity. For example, a man is holding a gun versus a man is shooting a gun. So overall, our multitask models captions are better at both temporal and action prediction and logical entailment with respect to ground truth captions. And here are some examples on our entailment generation multitask model. For example, a woman in a dress with 2 children is a premise. The hypothesis generated by our system is a woman is wearing a dress. So extending this work, we also showed that entailment can improve summarization in a multitask setting, since a summary also entailed by its document. Also, we used entailment as a reward in reinforcement learning to correct the phrase matching metrics to ensure logically directed match and avoid contradiction. Also, as I mentioned at the beginning of my talk, this entailment, or also called linguistic inference idea, holds for several conditional generation tasks. Example, text simplification and movie summarization tasks that Professor Laparta discussed this morning in her invited talk. So we have been working on an online video captioning demo, and I just want to quickly show you the initial demo, how it works. It would be very quick. So this is our system. So this is our user interface where a user can upload a video or give a YouTube link. I will quickly show with one example. So this is, so I am also uploading at the same time to save some time. So this is a video where Fefeli is giving a talk at TED Talks. And let's see how our captioning model will generate. So here we are doing a lot of processing. We are extracting frame level features and then giving to our multitask model the final features. And this is what our model is generating. A woman is talking on a stage, which is indeed true. And one more video, which is about AlphaGo, where this is advertisement on AlphaGo, where they were showing some games, and let's see how our model tried to generate this one. So it is generating someone is talking about a computer program. So yeah, so thank you everyone. Thank you for coming to my talk, and I am happy to answer questions.
Okay, we have a time for a couple of questions. Any question from the audience? Okay. Too many questions. Please.
So I was wondering, some of the examples you showed, the captions were fairly simple, and it looked like maybe by just looking at a single frame from the video, you could get the captioning. So do you have any idea of, like, you know, how useful, how much value do you get from actually modeling the tempos?
Yeah. Yeah, sure. That's a great question. So previous results have shown that if you take a single frame instead of a video, so that is not using any temporal information, the results are worse than what you do when you take a temporal temporal information into consideration. So from that, we can say that yes, temporal information is used here, and it makes a much better caption instead of a static image. Yeah.
Hi, very interesting work.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question from an error analysis point of view. So you showed one of these examples in which the system doesn't work so well. You mentioned the dog getting to the dryer that is seen as dog playing with a toy.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if this happens because the system could not properly determine what's going on, or because it has no previous information, let's say, about the dog getting into a dryer. So in a way that it failed because it couldn't understand the frame correctly, or because it had no prior information that dogs getting into dryers is a thing that can happen.
Yeah, that's a good question. So this data set is a very small. It's small. It's about 1,200 videos only training. So it doesn't have a lot of information of different scenarios or cases. So yeah, so it is detecting. So in that sense, the second option is correct, where even the frames are good enough, but it didn't see a scenario where this kind of situation is happening, since the number of data sets, the number of videos are also small. Yeah.
Okay, very quick question, please.
Yeah.
There's a problem with video classification to begin with. So video captioning is even more difficult. I was wondering, how much are you limited by the power of the encoder? Because since video classification is difficult, I mean, if there is an inherent limitation in the encoder to capture the features of the video, we can do it. So I just wanted to know your opinion about that.
So what's your question? Sorry, I missed it.
How much are you limited by the encoder?
So how much is the improvement from the encoder?
Limitation I'm talking about. So encoders, if I want to classify a video, again, I will have to encode it and then
Yeah.
classify it, right? With captioning, you're also using the same encoders, but video classification is already difficult.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to know if you have experience with if the limitations, I mean, if you want to improve your results, would you have to work harder on the video encoder, or on the natural language decoder?
I would say for the video captioning, it's the both. Even for the classification, all you need is what's happening. So even in the classification, you have to detect objects, events, and actions, right? So the same here you have to detect events, objects, but you have to frame it as you have to frame it as a natural language generation. So it's much complicated than the classification, but yeah, so here, apart from having more focus on the encoder, it has to be on, so more, along with the more focus on the encoder, decoder should also be given a more focus. So that's what our entailment, logical entailment sharing idea shows.
Okay, let's thanks the speaker again.
Thank you.
So now the technical session are officially closed, but we still have a lifetime achievement. So we have a break now, and then come back, please, for this and for the closing session.